Now what starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C. Let's think of other things that starts with C. Who cares about the other things? C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C. Oh!
Today we're going to make pinwheel cookies, a family favorite of ours. And you start with a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and you should use the non-salted butter. And then we add in 1.25 cups of white granulated sugar. We're mixing all the dry ingredients in a bowl, and we make sure that it has a good stir to it. And what's in here is 2.5 cups of flour, 1.25 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, I use 2.25 cups of regular flour, and then I use the last 1/4 cup, I use cake flour, and it just makes the consistency of the cookie a little lighter. And I think a little tastier. So we put aside our dry ingredients and we move over to our wet ingredients. You started with the butter at room temperature, then you add the next ingredient, which is always creaming in the sugar. And very important because it's about smooth, and you don't want it to have crinkles of the sugar in your mix. You want it to be very smooth and flowing. When it looks like that, you'll know that you're going to add the next ingredient. We break the egg. It's a 1 egg recipe. And to the egg, we add the teaspoon of vanilla. And you can give it a quick just. Now also, while we're starting that, we can melt our semi-sweet chocolate. Chocolate in the microwave for 2 minutes. And we can start that up. So we're going to add the egg and the vanilla, and we just spatula the rest out of it. And again, we're going to mix this until it's creamy. You're going for consistency, and you'll see how it becomes very, very consistent. Now we add the flour, and we do it in 3 tranches. And you can see, again, we're looking for texture and consistency, and you'll know when you're ready for the next tranche of flour here. It makes a clayish type texture as it's all coming together, and I always stop about this time and just kind of scrape the sides and make sure it's all moving, because we don't want a hunk of butter in there or a floury cookie. And then I'm ready for my final third. And you can see you're almost done when it's all coming, like it's all smooth, and it's that little bit of cake flour that keeps it moist and interesting. Now we've got our batter. I'm going to divide the batter in half, because part of it is going to be for the chocolate pinwheel piece, and part of it will remain the vanilla. Do it kind of by the touch, because this is just a little wet, so we're just going to add a little bit more flour, and the little being the operative term. And you see just what a little will do. And I use just a little less than half of the batter. And we can just let this piece sit. And by now, the chocolate has is pretty much melted, and if it hasn't, well, you can just run it along the sides. Basically, we'll make a little well, and there we go with the luscious chocolate. And then we get back into the batter and the beating, and this is very quick. It picks up, it's a good amount of chocolate, so you can really work it so it's very, dense and rich. And you can see it is just that. So now, just as we made the entire batter into a ball, we're going to do the same now with the chocolate. Okay, it's very consistent, very nice, it's flavorful. You can smell the vanilla, you can smell the chocolate. And here's your chocolate ball. Okay, so we're going to take the chocolate and we're going to make, just kind of mimicking the circle. And you can see it doesn't really call for a rolling pin because it really does just suit you for a quick roll of the two doughs. Now, at this point, the dough, and we're going to make two, almost like a jelly roll. And you can't be afraid to, get it to the texture in the place that you want, because we want it to have a rolling quality. A little bit of wax paper. And you now just roll the dough into the wax paper. Take a little roll of aluminum foil and do the same thing. Each of these rolls should break out to about, between 25 and 30 cookies. Now we're going to put the two rolls in the freezer overnight. The next day, we use a non-stick baking pan, and you can see the roll in the dough. They're about an 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. I do about 4 or 5 in a row. This is as close to perfect as it gets in the cookie world here. Some people like them very thin and crisp, and some people like them a little thicker and cakey. So there's no, you can't make a wrong cookie. I've never had a cookie that I didn't like. And we're going to pop it in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes at 375. So now, and you can see they're, you can tell that they're done. They're brown on the edges, and we'll just let it sit for a minute. See, right off the tray. So you can see that you've got a nice, you've got a nice amount of cookies, and you still have another roll in the freezer. And that could stay in the freezer for, you know, probably 3-4 weeks.
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C. Oh, C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me.